Hi, my name is Krista Carr. I will be discussing today my high reliability teacher um, C1 task for level one. So my model name isn't named anything in particular. Typically, the class opens with time for routines, attendance, things like that. They have a daily writing that changes. Um, you know, the writing prompt changes, but not the establishment of that. Um, then we go through, we review the previous lesson, introduce the concept for the day. They get some direct instruction, practice class as a class, practice independently, and then any homework is assigned before we do a review to check for understanding. So some of the strengths of this is it produces a very, very particular structure. So when I take the question out of how things run, I am given more leeway to teach more in-depth topics because I'm not fighting the logistics of getting kids to settle down, taking attendance, things like that, and I don't forget to do stuff. Um, the other thing is the kids are very engaged because that routine establishes trust with them, and they understand the expectations. So um, that's some of the big strengths of this and kind of the tiered practice. Um, from the direct instruction to class practice to independent practice, that structured practice is so good for them. Um, some of the weaknesses that are there um, are that the the evaluation of learning is more calculated in my head than on paper. So checking for understanding during a class or independent practice, because I'm circulating around the room, I don't have the data that sometimes supports what I'm doing, so I'm looking at it. Okay. And that sometimes doesn't lead to the most realistic um, results. Sometimes they get skewed. Um, so that's sort of some of the weaknesses. Um, as far as the planning process goes, I decide which elements are going to be emphasized based on, okay, is this a discussion? Is this a skill that we need to have, like a grammar lesson about active and passive voice versus understanding the literary significance of Gothic literature as a whole. Two very, very different ways of assessment. Um, and so if it is a longer term, something like what might be assessed with a paper, that's typically going to focus more on the discussion instead of the individual practice portion of it. Whereas something like using active voice in our grammar mastery, that's going to be more of an independent, like a class practice. Okay. Um, and I think that covers most of it. I'm pretty confident that that's a pretty good explanation. Thanks.